Morning, children. How are you all? I hope everyone is doing great. I hope everyone is fit and fine. So, kids, do you remember what we have done yesterday? We have done describing words. I already explained you about describing words. Today, again, we'll have the recap of the describing words and then we'll do the reading comprehension. Before we start with our reading comprehension, let's recap about describing word. As I've already told you, describing words means to describe about a noun, like describe about a person or a thing or a place. It's not solely about physical appearance, but it can be about taste, it can be about color, it can be about what we say height or different types of shapes. So let's start. I have already explained you about describing word. Describing word, it also known as adjectives. They describe a person or a thing. Examples: he is a bad boy. It is describe about boy. Bad is a describing word. They live in a beautiful house. Describe about house. Beautiful is a describing word. He is a kind woman. Describe about woman. Kind is a describing word. The old man is too weak. Describe about old man. Weak is a describing word. The earth is round. Describe about earth. Round is a describing word. Lime tastes sour. Describe about lime. Sour is a describing word. She is wearing a red shirt. Describe about shirt. Red is a describing word. The ant is big. Describe about ant. Big is a describing word. The boy is thin. Describe about boy. Thin is a describing word. The cake is soft. Describe about cake. Soft is a describing word. I have already explained you about describing word through PPT. But still, if you are not getting, I'll explain you through yesterday's example. So, first example is tree. First, it is green in color and it is tall. Orange, it is big, round in shape and it tastes juicy. Ball, big, round in shape, black in color. Cake, it is soft. Mango, yellowish orange in color and it tastes juicy. So now let's start with the reading comprehension. Are you ready? Okay. Worksheet 1.3 will have a reading session. Read this story about Alice's adventure and on the basis of this they have been given the questions. We'll discuss that. So here we start reading. Alice was trying to find the rabbit she had chased. Suddenly she came upon a little three-legged table, all made of solid gas. There was nothing on it except a tiny golden key, and Alice's first thought was that it might belong to one of the doors of the hall. But alas! The locks were either too large or the key was too small, but at any rate it would not open any of them. Now we'll go to second paragraph. She looked around some more and came upon a low curtain she had not noticed before, but it was a little door about 15 inches high. She tried the little golden key in the lock and to her great delight it fitted. Alice opened the door and found that it led into a small passage, not much larger than a rat hole. She knelt down and looked along the passage into the loveliest garden you ever saw. How she longed to wander about among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains, but she could not even get her head through the doorway. She went back to the table, and this time she found a little bottle on it, and around the neck of the bottle was a tag with the words "Drink Me" beautifully printed on it in a large letters. Now we are on the second page. Alice decided to taste it, finding it very nice. She very soon finished it off. What a curious feeling, said Alice. I must be shutting up like a telescope. And so it was indeed. She was only now 10 inches high, and her face brightened up. When she drank the bottle, she became only 10 inches high, and her face brightened up, and at the thought that she was now the right size for going through the little door into that lovely garden. But poor Alice had left the key on the glass table, and now she was too tiny to reach it. The poor little thing sat down and cried. When she had stopped crying for a bit, her eye fell on a little glass box that was lying under the table. Inside was a very small cake on which the words "Eat me" were beautifully marked in currants. Well, I will eat it, said Alice, and if it makes me grow larger, I can reach the key. And if it makes me grow smaller, I can creep under the door. So either way, I will get into the garden, and I do not care which happens. She ate a little bite and said anxiously to herself, Which way? Which way? Holding her hand on the top of her head to feel which way it was growing, and she was quite surprised to find that she remained the same size. So she finished off the cake. We have already read the story. Now here are the questions. I have already prepared a PPT for the answers. So we'll discuss the question answer there. So shall we start? Okay. Already done the worksheet for describing word. We have read the passage. Now we'll solve worksheet 1.3. So here we'll discuss the answers. What did Alice discover behind the curtain? So answer is Alice discovered behind the curtain was the little door about 15 inches high. Why could Alice not wander in the garden? Alice could not wander in the garden because the door was small. Question: What happened to Alice when she drank from the bottle? When Alice drank from the bottle, she became 10 inches high. What would Alice do if the cake made her smaller? Alice can creep under the door and get into the garden. So kids, you have seen the reading comprehension. You can practice more from seeing the internet, or else you can practice this. I hope you have enjoyed the session with me today. So till then, goodbye, take care, stay safe, stay at home.